إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهديه الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Today, inshallah, we'll have sort of interactive session. This is the middle of Ramadan. How many days today, brother?
14 days.
16?
Thursday. Thursday.
Thursday?
Thursday. Thursday.
Thursday. Who said in the morning we don't have cute people? What's the virtue? What is... tell me something about Ramadan. Virtue for Ramadan. The Quran was revealed during the month of Ramadan. So all the Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan?
No. Came down.
Came down into Ramadan.
Came down.
Came down the month of Ramadan. Don't talk without raising your hand. Came down the month of Ramadan to the worldly sky. And then from the worldly sky came down to us. Over how many years? Raise your hand.
23.
23 years. How many years in Mecca?
13.
13. Medina? You're better than my son anyway, but that's okay.
10.
10. So I guess you use math. 23 minus 13, 10. Find another virtue for the month of Ramadan. Number 1, Quran was revealed in. Number 2, Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr. What's so special about Laylatul Qadr? Did I ask you? Laylatul Qadr, brother. Better than 1,000 months. How many years is that? Let him divide. A lot.
About a little more than
82, about 82. Type, imagine one night of worship, it's like you worshipped 82 years in the same form of worship. And if you pray the Taraweeh and you read a lot of Quran and you do a lot of things during that night, it's like you have done that, the same thing, 82 years. That is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's how we catch up with the people who came before us. The time of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, people used to live 500, 600, 700, 800, 900 years, maybe even more. So if you are a righteous person and a person righteous from the time of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam, you can never catch up with them. But this way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us so many virtues that we can catch up with anyone. That is special for the followers or the ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Third one. Third virtue of Ramadan. When you learn, probably the first thing you learn when you are. Yeah, that's. Talk like a wab, yeah. What? Huh? Fasting. Fasting. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. Ramadan. So the fasting month. How many days is the month?
29 or 30.
See, this guy is smart. That's why he sits in the front and he leads the prayer and all that. He's not just working to have a Quran, he's learning also. 29 or 30. Why 29 or 30? Go back to him.
It depends on how long the month is by the moon.
By the moon. So our record is by what?
Lunar calendar.
By the sun. Our record, Americans. You see, he's American. How do you use sun or moon? Sun. So the lunar month is 29 or 30. Can it be ever 31? No. 29 or 30. And how do we know if it's 29 or 30? Did you ever look for them? You leave it to someone else to do the job, just like everything else in your life. Or in our life, right? Did you ever look for the moon? Do you care?
I try, but I didn't see it.
Fourth virtue of Ramadan. How many pillars of Islam are there? How many pillars of Islam are there? Give it to him. If you don't know it, point at someone else like he did. Okay? 5. Go ahead, say them for me. January, February, March, April, May. 5, what are they? You see, I guarantee you that they know it, but when you're picked, you lose it right away. No, we can't ask you again. You're too smart. We need someone who has no brains.
That's what I didn't tell him. He knows it.
That's why I said he's smart. Well, go ahead.
Hajj, Salah.
Which one you do first? You go to Hajj and then you come to Salah, or you pray, right? Okay, Salah, Hajj.
Sadaqah.
You mean Zakah?
Zakat. And
Ramadan is fasting. And what's the first one? Shahadatan. Why they call it Shahadatan?
Oneness of Allah and the Risala of Nabi Sallallahu
Ahsan. Do you think they understood that? Speak English, bro. Shahadatan. First Shahada. What is Shahada? What's the meaning of Shahada? Naam?
God is one, and Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa is the prophet of.
That's explanation. What is Shahada linguistically?
Witness.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
Arab English.
Yeah, witness.
Witness. You testify, you witness. It's like you've seen it, you know it, you have no doubt about it. Testify. How many testification you have? 2. What's the first one? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who deserves what?
To be worshipped alone.
To be worshipped. But there are other gods that they're being worshipped. Sah? So he's not the only one being worshipped. So what's the difference between that worship and the other worship?
he's the one that's supposed to be worshipped. He's the one that's supposed to be worshipped.
Supposed to be worshipped. In a different word, deserves to be worshipped. You can worship whatever you want to worship. They don't deserve your worship. Why they don't deserve it?
Because they're all going to be makhluk wa khaliq.
And because they're created, and He's the Creator. You sound good. Because He is the one who created us. If they can create you, or they created you, then worship them. Nothing can be worshipped or deserve to be worshipped because they're not the Creator. They are the one who, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who created you, so He deserves your worship. So we say Ramadan is the pillar of Islam, Ramadan is the fasting month, Ramadan has, the Quran was revealed in Ramadan, Laylatul Qadr in Ramadan. These are beautiful virtues that we worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during this month of Ramadan. That's what makes month of Ramadan so special. Every time, let's take the Quran from that. The Quran, anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, in particular the things that we're supposed to take care of. If you take care of things, they're there for the life that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala designated for it. But if you leave it, what will happen to it? It will wilt, fade away, and die. Exactly us, when we deal with the Quran. Things that depends on us, if we don't take care of it, it will wilt or fade away and die. Quran, in relation with us, if we don't take care of the Quran, what happens? Yani if we don't read it and understand it and apply it, no. Relate to the same thing that we're talking about, other creations.
You'll get farther away from Allah. You'll get farther away from Allah.
Farther away from Allah. No, we relate to the same thing. Wilt and fade and die. Who dies? The Quran or you? You. We are the one who will fade away and wilt when we don't deal with the Quran. That's the virtue of the Quran. It's life. Life for you, life for the heart, healing for your body, for your mind, spiritually and physically and everything. That's the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed upon us. Take the Quran and deal with friends. If you have a good friend, how much you learn from that friend the first day? Let's say you learn some good things. Do you learn or you know all the secrets and everything about that good friend in 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days? Takes a lot. You really have to have a long time relationship with that friend to really know all of his secrets. Likewise the Quran. For someone who comes just in Ramadan, start flipping pages, he's not gonna know the Quran. For someone who just every now and then he opens that Mus'haf and reads some, he's not gonna know the secrets of the Quran. The longer time you deal with the Quran, the more you read it, the more you recite it. Picture those people who teach Quran. Daily, they're probably exposed to 6 to 8 hours reading Quran, reciting Quran, listening to Quran and all of that, and understanding and such. Every day, they are getting more and more secrets of the Quran and learning of the Quran until they die. It will never run out of things. You can probably sometimes hear an ayah, you have read it thousands, literally thousands of times, and all of a sudden you derive some understanding from it, or you hear from somebody who goes, SubhanAllah, I never thought about that. I never knew this one, I know it for such a long time. That's the specialty of the Quran. That's the miraculous nature of the Quran, that the more you deal with it, the more you know it, the more secrets you get from it. It doesn't drain out. You drain out and you sit, and the Quran keeps on giving. That's why you don't find people getting tired of it or bored of it. Because the more you know, not just simply you recite. You know the Quran, you read it, you read the tafsir, you hear to listen to people who explain it and all of that. You find yourself going, SubhanAllah, it's an amazing book because it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every time a person writes a book, in the first chapters or the introductory, they always try to apologize from any mistakes, from anything that they did not do right or good in that. In this book, disclaimer, except the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather than doing any of that, it says, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. This is the book, there is no doubt in it. There is no mistakes in it. وَلَوْ كَانَ مِنْ عِنْدِ غَيْرِ اللَّهِ لَوَجَدُوا فِيهِ اخْتِلَافًا كَثِيرًا. Had it been from anywhere, from anyone different than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they would have seen so many discrepancies in it. They would have seen so many mistakes and so many contradictions in that Quran, subhanAllah. But it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Many of us here have excuses, when we deal, why did you read Quran, or why didn't you read Quran, or how many did you read? I have to go to work, and I have to wake up, and I have to sleep, and I got tired, and my car broke down, and always excuses. It is you. You want to change? You can change. You don't want to change? Nothing will happen. ضرب الله مثلا. Number 1, how many? Surah Al-Tahrim. ضرب الله مثلا للذين كفروا امرأة نوح وامرأة لوط كانتا تحت عبدين صالحين من عبادنا فخانتاهما فلم يغنيا عنهما من الله شيئا. The wife of Prophet Lut alayhi salam, the wife of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam